Welcome to the class, children. We start Act 5, Scene 1, Belmont, Avenue to Portia's house. Enter Lorenzo and Jessica. This is the last scene, last act, sorry, in the drama. And we have got some idea about the conclusion of it. And here we find Lorenzo and Jessica. You know, Jessica is the daughter of Shylock, and Lorenzo is her husband. They are going to have some casual talk, not anything serious. Lorenzo says, "The moon shines bright in such a night as this, when the sweet wind did gently kiss the trees, and they did make no noise. In such a night, Troilus methinks mounted the Trojan walls, and sighed his soul toward the Grecian tents, where Cressid lay that night. The moon shines bright." When does the moon shine brightly? On a full moon day, especially, you find it shines very brightly. In such a night as this, on such a night when the moon was shining brightly, when the sweet wind did gently kiss the trees. Here, the behavior of a human being is given to the winds and trees. The wind doesn't kiss the trees. This we find only in human beings, they do that. We kiss the children, our loved ones. Here, he means to say that the wind, when it touches very gently, it seems as though it is kissing the trees. And they did make no noise. They don't make any noise. When you touch somebody gently, you don't make any noise. But when you touch in a rash way, you can hear some noise, some reaction, everything is seen. But here, we don't find any kind of noise made because the wind is blowing very gently. Visualize a night where the moon is shining brightly in the sky and the wind is blowing very gently. And because of that, you find a little movement in the leaves in such a night. That is the situation there. That we can find often. Troilus methinks mounted the Trojan walls and sighed his soul toward the Grecian tents, where Cressid lay that night. Here, a small story is attached. Let us see that. Troilus is the son of King of Troy, and Cressida was his lover. They both were lovers and had exchanged vows that they would love each other forever. During the siege of Troy, Cressid was handed over to Greeks in exchange of prisoners. And there she fell in love with another person. For a long time, every night, Troilus stood on the walls of Troy looking at the Greek camps. And in this way, she became the symbol of unfaithful lovers. I repeat, Troilus was the king of son of King of Troy, and Cressida was his lover. They both were in love with each other. But during the siege of Troy, Cressida was handed over to the Greeks in exchange of prisoners. And there, when she was handed over to the Greeks, there she fell in love with another person. She forgot Troilus, maybe. And then Troilus did not know all these things, but every night he would stand on the walls of the Troy looking at those tense Greek camps waiting for Cressida to come. And she never turned back. So she became the symbol of unfaithful lovers. So this is what said by Lorenzo. Jessica. In such a night did Thisbe fearfully overtrip the dew and saw the lion's shadow ere himself and ran dismayed away. Now, when Lorenzo has given one uh, story kind, he gives one incident to tell about lovers. Jessica also has another one to say. You have to learn all these small stories attached to it. So put a tick mark and write learn there. In such a night did Thisbe. Thisbe was actually a Babylonian maid, you can say, girl, maiden. She and her lover, Pyramus, were forbidden by their parents to meet each other. They were told by the parents not to meet each other. Who are they? Thisbe and Pyramus. Thisbe is a Babylonian maiden, girl, young girl. One day, they decided to meet in the forest. They arranged a meeting. And Thisbe went to the forest to meet Pyramus there. There she saw a lion in the forest. It is but natural. These animals are found in the jungle, forest. When she saw the lion, she ran away, leaving her long cloak, a long coat kind. And when Pyramus came, he found that her cloak was lying there. Her coat, you can say, long coat was lying there, and it was blood stained. When he saw it blood stained, he thought that the lion must have killed Thisbe. And what did he do? He killed himself. In this way, Thisbe, when she returned back, she found that Pyramus' body is lying there. She too killed herself. In this way, they both became the symbols of faithful lovers. Previously, Cressida was a symbol of faithless, unfaithful lover. But here, these both are the symbols of faithful lovers. I repeat this story once again. Thisbe was a Babylonian maiden. She was in love with Pyramus. They both were warned by the parents not to meet each other. But Thisbe and Pyramus decided to meet in the forest. And that day, when Thisbe went to the forest, she saw a lion in that place. When she saw a lion, it's but natural we get frightened. She ran in a hurry. When she ran in a hurry, her cloak, long coat, she left it there and she went away. When the cloak was lying there, we find that the lion must have caught hold of that coat, and it doesn't know what it is, no? So maybe uh, whatever blood was there, um, stain on the mouth of the lion, that time that might have when it caught the clock, those stains must have that blood must have been stain on the clock also. In that way, uh, the lion left the place and went away. Later, Thisbe came back. When Pyramus came, he found that the clock of Thisbe is there and it is full of blood. He thought maybe the lion has killed her, so he killed himself and he was dead. After some time, again, Thisbe came back and she found that her lover is lying dead there. So she also killed herself. In this way, we find they both died for the sake of love. So they both are the symbols of faithful lovers. Now, Lorenzo starts another one. In such a night, there's something playing like a game. He tells one story, she tells another. And you see, all start with in such a night. The line in such a night. Lorenzo's dialogue, first dialogue also you see. In the you find a third line, you have this phrase in such a night. So again, Jessica also starts. Again now, we find Lorenzo has another incident to tell us. In such a night, stood Dido with a willow in her hand upon the wild sea banks and wafted her love to come again to Carthage. Now again, um, Lorenzo has another story to give. He says, he gives the story, a love story of Aeneas. Here, he says that Aeneas was a Trojan warrior who founded the city of Rome. During his voyages, he reached Carthage, and where he loved Queen Dido. After a long stay with her, he sailed away, leaving Dido heartbroken. And then what happened? She felt very sad. She killed herself out of grief. Shakespeare says that this might have happened on that day, such a night, a moonlit, beautiful moonlit night, when Dido walked sadly on the seashore, holding in her hand a willow. Willow is actually, you find this grows near the water bodies. They are known as weeping willows. Willow, the symbol of deserted love. And she expected, she wanted Aeneas to come back to Carthage. I repeat this again. Aeneas was a Trojan warrior who founded the city of Rome. During his voyages, his journey in the sea, he went to Carthage. There, he fell in love with Queen Dido. He stayed along with her for a long time, and then one day he sailed from that place. When he left, she was heartbroken. So she could not tolerate the grief of separation from him, and she killed herself. Shakespeare says that it must have been on a beautiful night that such a thing must have happened. It must have been a beautiful night, a beautiful night, a sunlit, moonlit night, where she must have walked heartbroken, very sadly, on the seashore, holding a willow in her hand, which is the symbol of deserted love. And she must have expected Aeneas to come. She must be waiting on the banks there, wild sea bank, seashore. Now we find Jessica gives another story. In such a night, media gather the enchanted herbs that did renew old Aeson. Now, again, another story is told by Jessica. Now, we find this also starts with in such a night. Means whatever stories they are narrating, the incidents where they are narrating, they that must have started on a night, especially, and which was a moonlit night. Wind was blowing very gently. It seems to touch the trees very gently, and it seems as though the wind is kissing the trees. Here, Jason, actually, as mentioned here in this poem, in this lines of Jessica, in the dialogue of Jessica, actually, he was a famous Greek hero, and he was an expedition to Colchis in search of golden ram's fleece. Media, his wife, helped him to win the golden fleece. Along with that, he gathered herbs. Herbs are medicinal plants. She gathered herbs of magical properties, and by night time, they should be gathered in a specific time. Then only they'll have that value. So, she gathered those herbs which had magical properties during the night time, and she gave that to her aged father-in-law. He was Aeson, actually, so that he becomes young. This was mentioned. The reason is Elizabethans believed that certain herbs had magical properties if they were gathered at night time. Certain herbs, certain plants, they have medicinal value when they are gathered during the night time. So that is what is mentioned by Jessica. Lorenzo, in such a night, did Jessica steal from the wealthy Jew, and with an unthrift love did run from Venice as far as Belmont. Now Lorenzo says, in such a night, did Jessica steal from the wealthy Jew? Jessica, she stole. Who is Jessica? Presently his wife, daughter of Shylock. She stole from the wealthy Jew. Who is the wealthy Jew? Shylock. When we silence children, mute your mics. In such a night, during night time, mute your mics, children. In such a night, Jessica must have stolen from her wealthy Jew, Shylock. You remember, in the previous part of the drama, we find that when Lorenzo says that I'm going to come and take you, Jessica, she takes some ducats, some gold, some jewelry, all that. So that is what is mentioned here. He says that Jessica stole from her wealthy father, and with an unthrift love did run from Venice. With an careless devotion, lover who doesn't have any money with him, she did run from Venice. She ran from Venice to where? As far as Belmont. She ran from Venice to Belmont. Jessica, in such a night, did young Lorenzo swear he loved her well, stealing her soul with many vows of faith and never a true one. In such a night, did now Jessica's turn, no? So she says, in such a night, did young Lorenzo, what did young Lorenzo do? He swore love towards Jessica, and he vowed many vows of love towards Jessica, stealing her soul with many vows of faith. He captured her love. He won her heart with so many promises of love and never a true one. Many vows he made, but not a single one is true. Lorenzo, in such a night, did pretty Jessica, like a little shrew, slander her love, and he forgave it her. In such a night, did in such a night means a night where the night is a moonlit night, the gentle wind is blowing, the trees don't make any noise. In such a night, did pretty Jessica, did lovely, beautiful Jessica, like a little shrew, like a bad tempered woman, shrew, bad tempered, slander her love. She harmed by speaking ill, by making false statements, speaking ill of her lover. But he forgave it her. But he forgave her. Although she spoke ill about him, he forgave her. Jessica, I would outnight you did nobody come. But hark, I hear the footing of a man. Now it is the turn of Jessica to say again. She says she has to start a sentence with in such a night, and she is supposed to speak now. She says that I would outnight you. She says I'm ready to win you, beat you in this game of what you call making speeches about knights. Did nobody came, but somebody has come. But hark, but listen, I hear the footing of a man. I can hear the footsteps of somebody coming. That's why I stop here. Otherwise, I can beat you in this game. Like we have a game, and I say, as I'm going to start a sentence with this, you also start your sentence with the same phrase. In that way, whoever stops, who is unable to say a sentence, ultimately is the loser. Same way she does the same. They both are having a game kind. Enter Stefano. Stefano is a servant of Portia. Lorenzo, who comes so fast in silence of the night? Who is that coming? When the night is so silent, who is coming so fast? Stefano, a friend. Lorenzo, a friend? What friend? He says, a friend? What friend? Your name? I pray you, friend. He says, a friend? Which friend? What is your name? Please tell me. Stefano. Stefano is my name. This dialogue of Stefano also you have to learn. I bring word. My mistress will before the break of day be here at Belmont. He says, my name is Stefano. I'm the servant of Portia. And I bring word. My mistress will before the break of day be here at Belmont. My I'm a messenger, and to inform you that my mistress, my madam, my mistress will come here before the break of day, before the day breaks, before the sun rises. Be here at Belmont. She'll be here at Belmont here. She doth stray about by holy crosses. She's wandering about. She's going here and there by holy crosses. Actually, as we have small temples and other things on the roadside, same way, there also in England and other places, they have roadside shrines are there with crosses so that the travelers can pray there. Where she kneels and prays for happy wedlock hours. She kneels down and she prays there, wherever she finds. For what? For a happy married life. Who prays? Portia prays. Lorenzo. Who comes with her? Who is coming with her? Stefano says, none but a holy hermit and her maid. I pray you, is my master yet returned? This is no one except a holy priest and her maid. Who is her maid? Nerissa is her maid. I pray you, is my master yet returned? I request you, please tell me whether my master, who is my master here? Bassanio. Has he returned? Lorenzo. He is not, nor we have not heard from him. He has not returned, nor we have heard anything from him, that he'll be returning back. But go we in, I pray thee, Jessica, and ceremoniously let us prepare some welcome for the mistress of the house. But go we in, let us go in, Jessica. I request you that ceremoniously let us prepare some welcome for the mistress of the house. Let us have a formal welcome, ceremoniously a formal welcome for the mistress of the house, for the owner of the house. Ceremonious welcome is, when we have some function, a chief guest is coming, we find some people standing near the gate, welcoming him there. At times, flowers are thrown on the way of the chief guest. All that, whatever we do to make it look special. Now enter Lancelot. Lancelot. Sola, sola, wo, ha, wo, sola, sola, he says. Hello, 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 anybody is there? Lorenzo. Who calls? Who is calling? Lancelot. Sola, did you see Master Lorenzo? Master Lorenzo? Sola, sola, he says. Hello, did anybody see Master Lorenzo? Hello, Master Lorenzo, have you seen? Lorenzo, leave hollowing, man, here. He says, stop shouting, man. I'm here. Lancelot, Sola, where? Hello, where are you? Where are you? Lorenzo says, here. Lancelot, tell him there's a post come from my master with his horn full of good news. My master will be here ere morning. Tell him. Lancelot says to tell him here refers to Lorenzo, that his master is coming and he has come ahead. And when this kind of things happen, you will find that a trumpet is blown, wiggle is blown there to tell that the master is arriving. And my master will be here before morning. Who is my master here? Bassanio is the master here. Please maintain silence. Saying these words, Lancelot departs. He moves out of the stage. Lorenzo, sweet soul, let's in and there expect their coming. He said, dear Jessica, let us go in and let us wait for their arrival. Whose arrival? Arrival of arrival of Bassanio, Portia, all these people. And yet, no matter. Why should we go in? However, why should we bother all these things? Why should we do? We need not go inside. My friend Stefano, signify. My friend Stefano, who is Stefano? As I told you, he's a servant of Portia. Go and announce. Signify, announce. I pray you, I request you, please go and announce. Within the house, your mistress is at hand, and bring your music forth into the air. I request you, please go into the house and announce that your mistress is going to come. Who is their mistress? Portia is the mistress, will arrive soon. And bring your music forth into the air. Open air.
That active and safe zone.
Will you please be silent? Somebody is talking. Exit Stefano. Stefano moves out of the stage. This whole dialogue of Lorenzo you must learn. Put a tick mark there and write learn. How sweet the moonlight sleeps upon this bank. Here will we sit and let the sounds of music creep in our ears. How sweet the moonlight sleeps. The moonlight doesn't sleep actually, but here the moonlight is very pleasant and calm and still without any movement at that time. So it looks that the moonlight is sleeping, very calm. Upon this bank, here bank is mound of earth. Here will we sit. Let us sit here and let the sounds of music creep in our ears. Let the music enter our ears. Soft stillness and the night become the touches of sweet harmony.
Drop the real number.
Will you please be silent, children? You're going on talking. Soft stillness and the night become the touches of sweet harmony. You know, the silence provides a good background for anything. To hear, to listen very clearly. Especially in the night time, when there is power supply is there, we are busy with our own, we are busy in our own world. There is a lot of noise here and there. When the power is not there, we find that everything is very silent and every little noise is heard very clearly. So in the same way, here, everything is very silent. And the sweet music seems to be very pleasant because everything is very silent. The whole atmosphere is very soothing. A moonlit night, gentle breeze blowing, music is heard in the background. How pleasant it is. Sit, Jessica. Look how the floor of heaven is thick inlaid with patines of bright gold. He says, sit down, Jessica, let us sit here and listen to the music. As I told you, as these days, if you want to listen to music, you have your own phone which works as for multiple purposes. In those days, there was no such chance for them. The technology was not so developed. So what people used to do is, rich people, they used to have musicians who would play music in the background. So he says, see, now look at the sky. Floor of heaven, sky is the floor of heaven. Is thick inlaid with patines of bright gold. It is decorated with patines of bright gold, small pieces of shiny metal. What is the small pieces of shiny metal? Stars. Stars seem to shine like metal pieces in the sky. Look at that. There is not the smallest orb which thou beholdest, but in his motion like an angel sings. He says that there is not a smallest orb. He says, not a smallest heavenly body which thou beholdest, which you see, but in his motion like an angel sings, that does not produce sweet music. Those people believe that every heavenly body, when it moves, it produces certain music, and that music is very pleasant to hear. So, in his motion, like angel sings, and how nice it is to listen to that music, and the stars and all the heavenly bodies seem to sing together like a choir to the bright eyed angels, still querying to the young eyed cherubians. They're still singing as a choir to the angels who are close to the God. They seem to sing very beautifully. All the heavenly bodies, they produce certain music, and that music is said to be very pleasant one to hear. Such harmony is in immortal souls, but whilst this muddy vesture of decay doth grossly close it in, we cannot hear it. We find that there is a harmony, beautiful harmony among these things, and that harmony, that music, we cannot hear, because soul is immortal, body is mortal. Body would perish, soul will remain forever. So our souls are immortal, and they produce some divine music. But as long as our body is there, the clothing of mortal body is there, mortality is there. As long as we are in this body, the soul is in this body, the body cannot enjoy that music. The human body, which closes the whole soul, encloses the soul, we cannot hear the heavenly music. Do you understand? I repeat that our body is mortal, it would perish, but our soul is immortal, it will remain. There is no death for the soul. So as long as our soul is in this body, we cannot hear that heavenly music produced by the divine music produced by the heavenly bodies. We cannot hear it. Now, the musicians enter. Come, oh, we'll see this part of the drama the next day. Bye.